the time has come. One of the major things people have been worried about is they've been worrying about there's not going to be a Max Kellerman face-off. There's not going to be an HBO 24/7. There's not going to be an All Access. Well, guess what? It's called Inside Mayweather vs. Pacquiao. It is going to be on Showtime and CBS Sports Network. What it is look at it as All Access except without the name. Now, it's crazy because we're not hearing that it's going to be on HBO. We don't know if HBO is going to be doing something or is it just going to be solely Showtime. Right now, it's looking like it's solely Showtime. 4 episodes. I have them right here. After the first episode will premiere Saturday, April 18th on Showtime immediately following Showtime Championship Boxing. Chavez versus Lanfara, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. So that's the first episode of Inside Mayweather versus Pacquiao. Think of it as an episode of All Access. Think of it as an episode of 24/7. I expect them to follow the same formula. But what we want to pay attention to is how they use Pacquiao content and Pacquiao coverage and expect for it to be, and we'll expect that it's on Showtime for it to be a Mayweather-dominated broadcast. Let's see how they do that. The second episode will premiere Saturday, April 25th at 7:30 p.m. on Showtime. On that same date, we may have, I forgot what fight's supposed to be on that date. I know the day before, you're going to have Anthony Durrell versus Bado Jack on Spike TV and Danny Jacobs versus Caleb Truax. Episode 3 premieres Wednesday, April 29th at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's the Wednesday fight week before the fight, the Wednesday before the fight. And then they have an epilogue, which premieres Saturday, May the 9th on Showtime. Now, that is going to be the show to see. The epilogue after the fight, Mayweather versus Pacquiao, May 9th, after the replay. It's looking like word I'm getting is that the replay may show on national televised CBS. But what I'm trying to get to is, if Mayweather loses, if Pacquiao loses, the cameras are going to be right there, and we're going to find out how Mayweather handles defeat, if it is true. 47-1 with 27 KOs. 26 KOs. If you don't know, I'm T-Street Controversy. This is T-Street Controversy Live. I'm a video reporter with RealCombatMedia.com, and I cover every single major fight live. So right now is my own personal road to Mayweather versus Pacquiao, and basically now is the time for us to talk about some news. So as I said before, I'm not going to be a channel that's going to be doing a Mayweather-Pacquiao video on every single piece of Mayweather-Pacquiao news that comes out. But what I will do is I will do 1 or 2 a week, and as we get closer to the fight, I'll start turning it up. Now, what I do provide is this, exclusive Mayweather versus Pacquiao promos, commercials, courtesy of Showtime. That was a pain in the ass to get. What I'm going to do is, you're going to start seeing some interviews. You're going to start seeing some more content. I'm going to try to keep things, close to the chest, a little secret for now until we get closer to the event. And basically, there's so much to talk about as far as the fight is concerned. So what we want to talk about is, we want to talk about something that's been the topic of discussion since I did my last video. And it's not the steroids, it's not the PEDs, but guess what? I got some right here for you. So listen to this, relax, please subscribe, and we're going to be neutral.
He's fought this man before, and again, this was only 3 rounds because they just sparring. They got the headgear on, they got everything. So I'm in the side of the ring, and I'm just watching this fight, and I'm just extremely happy that I just so happened to come on a day at a time when both of these are fighting, because I just wanted to see, I want to look in Floyd's eyes. I got a chance to say what up to him, and it's like the same way I keep talking about rappers. When you hear their tone and they,
we're gonna talk about what it is,
whether they're hungry or not. When you look in a fighter's eyes and you feel that energy, you realize where he's at. Floyd has never been a punk when it comes to training camp. Period. I have never in my life seen him this focused and training this hard. So let's just say if he usually runs 5 or 6 miles a day, he's running 8 or 9 miles a day. If he usually is in the gym and he's sparring and he's working out and exercising for 4 or 5 hours, he's doing 6, 7 hours. He knows that everything is on the line.
But tell us what happened with Zab and Floyd now.
Okay, I'll tell you what happened with Zab and Floyd. I don't know if this. I saw the TV camera, so I don't know if I'm gonna get in trouble for telling what's happening or if it's actually gonna come on one of them 24/7 joints. But the first round, Floyd did like he always does in a real fight. Took it easy, kind of studied, feel it out, see where Zab is at. Second round, you start to see Zab Judah getting a little fatigued. And then, Floyd started getting a little more aggressive and getting a little more comfortable. Third round, it's a wrap. Zab is definitely all the way fatigued, and and then Floyd Mayweather is just taking advantage of him at that point.
He actually fatigued by the third round.
And that's what I was gonna say. I'm telling you like this. The thing about this fight is we all know that the first 3 rounds, Floyd Mayweather, he kind of takes it easy and he studies. But the only thing about this fight is he has to be a little more aggressive, because we all know that Pacquiao is going to throw punches.
Right.
And this is about points. And so if he's not going to knock this man out, then you have to get more points than him. So Pacquiao's going to be throwing, and I feel like Floyd knows that he has to throw some stuff too.
Right.
And if Pacquiao wants to knock Mayweather out, it has to happen in the first 3 rounds. Right. If you're going to stagger him, if you're going to do anything that is going to completely mess up the rest of the rounds, it has to be in the first 3 rounds.
One Floyd and Justice.
Period.
How much you put out though?
Well, that is from the Breakfast Club today. Floyd Mayweather has frequented that show. I'm going to post a link to that below. That was Ludacris, the rapper. Fast and Furious 7. He's one of the stars of that. And the topic of discussion has been this week. Basically, I've been seeing all over social media, and, I've been sick. It's that time of the year. Hence the hoodie. It's very cold in here right now, the way I like it. Did Zab Judah knock down Floyd Mayweather in sparring? I tried. See, what it is I noticed that people try to drag me into stuff like that. I don't feed into, things like that anymore. Because why? Because it's only sparring. If it was true, what we find out, I don't know. Same way we're still trying to find out if Errol Spence really did black Floyd Mayweather's eye, or did he critically hurt maybe and or knock out Adrian Broner. So when it comes to stuff like that, I think it's not the fight. Just like people show that Gennady Golovkin, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. footage. It's not the fight. So I don't really take none of that seriously. But what we're hearing is that no, it did not happen. And yes, Jeff Mayweather's Mayweather, what he said as far as Floyd beating the shit out of Zab Judah in sparring, Ludacris just confirmed that. And I don't think Ludacris has I don't think he has any reason to, say any, to the otherwise, if that makes sense, even though he is friends with Floyd. But see, the point I'm trying to make is this. Guys, let's just, I understand we want to know all the news, we want to keep up with everything, but let's just focus on the stuff that matters. For example, another thing that's floating around is that Manny Pacquiao is having leg cramps. Manny Pacquiao has always been having leg cramps, so people are saying they're going to use that as an excuse for the fight. I think maybe because I've done so many videos prior to the announcement talking about all this stuff that's already happened, not happening, I think to myself, I see no point in doing videos every other day on it. So what we're going to talk about is now that we got inside Mayweather versus Pacquiao out of the way, which once again will premiere on April the 18th, 2015, after Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. versus Andre from Farah. On the SHOWTIME Championship Boxing, there will be 4 episodes, 3 episodes prior to the fight, and then 1 episode after the fight, which is going to be on May the 9th, the same day as Canelo versus Kirkland, and Trout versus excuse me. I've been cheating. It's Pepsi. I've been cheating. I apologize. I know for the people who've been watching me for a while, they know that I'm supposed to be laying off the caffeinated sugary beverages, but it gives me that extra pump, that extra bit of energy I need, especially when I be tired doing these videos, editing God knows how many videos. But what we're doing on this channel is this. Listen, I'm going to say it this way. When it comes to Mayweather versus Pacquiao coverage, I'm doing something on this channel that we've never done, or any other YouTube channel has never done before. So if you're really paying attention to what's going on to my channel, I'm creeping closer and closer to something big. So what I'm going to do is, tonight, you just have to wait and see. But let me talk about this. Listen, I've said that I have Manny Pacquiao defeating Floyd Mayweather. That's just my own personal opinion. Why can't I have my opinion? Why I gotta be an idiot or a dickhead or a know-nothing fan for picking a fighter off of my opinion? Do you think Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao, now listen to this. It's estimated that the fight is going to make, on the low end, $200 million in pay-per-view revenue. Now it's starting to creep closer to, oh, it's going to get 3 million. Now we're hearing 4 million in revenue. Don't you know that will clear Floyd Mayweather $220+ million? $220+ million. Manny Pacquiao's going to make maybe 180, maybe 2. Listen now, these are just ballpark figures. What I'm saying is I don't want to hear nothing about Manny Pacquiao's tax problems, because guess what? He can pay his taxes, whatever he supposedly had allegedly owed, 60, 70 million in Filipino, whatever. He can pay that and still have more than half of the purse of Mayweather Pacquiao. So whatever you want to say about this money, listen, all that shit is over. So when you look at 36 minutes, 2 fighters, both of them making around 200 million plus a piece. Now I know this is where people are going to get ignorant. Like, Mayweather Pacquiao ain't making that much. Listen, you are out of the loop. 60-40 split. It's in the contract. 60-40. They're saying at the gate, $74 million at the gate. Now, I remember people saying, well, they said that the ticket's going to be from $1,500 to $7,500. You them saying people that still, you know what? I don't want to start getting into conspiracy theories, but you people need to read a book, go read, or, get on the internet, start doing some searches. They're lying to you. I told you that a long time ago. Regular people are not getting no tickets. And if you're a regular person, you're getting a ticket. Put it this way. There's going to be a couple of tickets. When I say a couple, I say probably like 50 tickets, that they'll release to the public to sell for $1,500, and those are gone. Those are long gone. There'll be a couple of tickets that'll be like maybe about 10, 20 tickets that are $7,500. They're gone. So when I'm saying this, the MGM Grand seats under 19,000. I'm saying that they're probably going to release about 1,000 tickets, or have already 1,000 tickets to be sold to the public. Those other 18,000 tickets, what they're doing is they're selling them to secondary markets. And therefore, that they can make them tickets, however high as they want them to be. So imagine if you try to get a ticket to Mayweather versus Pacquiao, and let's say, for instance, you're some super mega millionaire, you don't even watch boxing, but it's some mega event going on because you're riding around in your private jet or your helicopter, and they say Mayweather Pacquiao is going on tonight. Oh, well, you can't get into it because it's the biggest fight of the century, but we do have this ticket right here for $5 million. You see, I'm trying to get you to understand that when it comes to the economics of this fight, there's so much money involved. And that's what I was trying to explain to you when it comes to drawing up the contract and drawing up the split, because everybody is trying to get over on everybody. But now we should be happy that it's all done. And yet, once again, I'm sorry, I got to bring it up. Pacquiao should have took the $40 million. He should have took the $40 million. Mayweather would have made like $500. Mayweather would have made like $500 million. Mayweather would have made like $500 million. Listen to me. The propaganda, man. Listen. It's got to stop. I don't know. Like, okay. There's so much. You got both sides, bitter enemies. They're getting this. They got this deal done, and now they're trying to destroy each other from each side. Mental and mind game. It's all mental and mind games. As far as when you hear the Pacquiao cramps, when you're hearing Zab Judah not. But when it comes to situations like, and I'm not going to address it in any detail because I already did the video already. But when it comes to Alex Ariza and Mimo Haradia, I don't care. That's not mind games. That's not publicity. That's not the type of publicity and mind games you play. And you need to watch. You need to watch this video unfold, because it's almost like I really genuinely feel, by looking at the fact that this video only has about 2,100 views, that is being avoided.
Harboring and promoting the use of drugs. This is the case in the Olympics. This is the case.
I'm gonna put the link in the description box.
As well as other combat sports like MMA, is to do bodily harm. It's much different than the guy running faster than you on a lane on a track. So I think there is an obligation.
There's one particular part I'm looking for.
On the grand scale on television is great. So, have we had state-sponsored doping as they're investigating now in Russia? I believe absolutely they have. And then does it go beyond that? Well, all of a sudden, you've got reports of positive drug tests being covered up and people paying money to be allowed to compete in the Olympics. And then it turns out that the president of the Track and Field Federation in Russia just happens to be the secretary-treasurer of the IAAF, the governing body. And then the president, Diak's son, is involved, and he has to step down, and everybody has to step down. It's like the entire board of directors of JODCO, the Jamaican Anti-Doping Association, had to step down. Were they in on it? Did they know that these athletes were doing stuff? Do I think that the boxing promoters know that these athletes are using drugs? I think they do. The testing needs to be independent. You look at some of these cases here as an example with the Nevada Commission with the Anderson Silva and John Jones.
Play a couple more minutes of this.
Where they tested them 3 weeks out, didn't get the test results back until after the fight, so the event goes on, the promoters get paid, the fighters get paid. Well, is it incompetence or is it collusion? Now the athletic, the Nevada State Athletic Commission's director is saying, "Oh, we would never do this." Well, it happened twice, and this, is it not their job to know how long it takes to get test results back when you submit them to a water-approved laboratory? It's an excuse, but is it a reasonable excuse? In my opinion, it's not. I think they know they're getting a percentage of the gate. Therefore, does it serve them to have the event canceled where they don't get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars? You have to take that financial incentive away. And that's all the way down to the boxing scribes, like I said earlier. There's an incentive there to look the other way. What do they get in return? They get access, which gives them the ability to put their likeness and image and what they have to say on the internet or on television, which gives them advertising dollars. So they're jeopardizing their income or their livelihood by asking all the tough questions. Therefore, you've got a lot of so-called fanboy scribes out there who are just looking the other way. Now, do I think some of these most well-known boxing scribes know that these boxers that they hang out with and follow around on a daily basis are on drugs? I believe they do know. There needs to be much more transparency. You need to know what types of tests are being
listen to a little bit more.
After the fights are over, you look at, let's just take Mayweather as an example, and USADA. Well, they come out and they say, well, on this date we tested blood, on this day we tested blood and urine, on this date we tested blood. But they don't tell you what tests they're doing. What specifically are they doing? And, there's no foolproof program, but if they would, when I went in 2007, December 12th, 2007, I met with Dick Pound, the founding chairman of WADA. And he said, if you could be the king of anti-doping for a day, what would you do? And I told him exactly and precisely what I would do over a 3.5-hour recorded or transcribed meeting. And then later, when I went back with additional information and said, I want you to go back and get the minutes from our meeting and confirm that I'm now bringing more evidence to prove that what I said then was the truth. And of course, I get a response thereafter back from Dick Pound who says, I'm sorry to inform you, but the minutes of our meeting have been destroyed. So even when you give the information to everybody's WADA this, WADA that, you hear the memo, oh, we're WADA. Oh my God. He's uninformed because WADA, for the most part, doesn't do testing. And if they do, yes, they approve the labs and their methods and procedures and give them the certification, but they're not really, they can in certain limited cases. I would say on average, WADA themselves, in terms of targeting and looking at athletes, may do in the neighborhood of 200 tests a year. But how many athletes show up at the Olympic Games, that are competitive and participate? Over 11,000? So there's not, all I'm trying to say is the testing is not effective because they're more concerned about the money that they get, the politics involved. They talk a good game, but do they really catch anybody? In other words, in 2012, they came out with every test that they do and the percentage of positives they found from that test. So all other tests, excluding carbon isotope ratio testing, the CIR testing that they do for synthetic testosterone, had a positive rate of less than 1%. carbon isotope ratio had a positive rate of greater than 5%. So you've got the most effective test. And do they routinely use this? They don't. They use it as a confirmatory test when they get an elevated TE ratio, but I'm telling you that they may claim in different sports that they do it. You know,
it's like I said, watching this, courtesy of SecondsOut, Gabriel Montoya. I'm gonna put the link below. Now, what it is when you come across videos like this, it's about educating yourself, because you can listen to, ignorance will say this person doesn't know what they're talking about. T-Street doesn't know what he's talking about. Victor Conte doesn't know what he's talking about. SecondsOut don't know what you're talking about. But then it's all about using your mind and going to do research. So it's all about, if you're one of those person where you see something bad about whether it's your favorite celebrity, whether it's your favorite boxer, athlete, whoever, and you say, oh, that looks like it's true. No, that's fake. No, that's a lie. It's not true. You're a hater. I'm just saying, listen, don't shoot the messenger. That's all I'm saying. I'm starting to notice that as I'm climbing the ranks, in this whole media business, it's really I'm just gonna say, man, listen, you start this, it's a nasty business. That's all I'm saying. I'm T-Street Controversy. This is T-Street Controversy Live at RealCombatMedia.com. I'm gonna spit. Please subscribe.